Hello and welcome to my channel. Yeah, we're going to see what's going on in the collective right now. I just did last week's reading and actually did the readings of the 2 previous weeks today as well. I asked Spirit, of course, to give me the energy of that time when I'm going to upload it. And oh my god, it's amazing what's going on in the collective right now. So I don't know what collective I'm going to tap in this particular reading, if it's the same collective, or if Spirit this time wants to show me a different collective, but either way, we're gonna see what it is, right? Also, yeah, there's a lot going on my channel. I'm trying to really build it up right now. Also, my Instagram information is below if you want to find me there. Also, if you want a personal reading, you can contact me. Right now, I'm still offering them. I don't know if I will still do that in the far future. Right now I am. So if you're interested in that, and otherwise just like, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you already did that, thank you and welcome back. And now let's jump in. I'm going to use the Mitten Tarot today. And for this reading, I decided to go with the Whispers of Love deck. So spirits, do we have a specific question? We did recently what's going on with the DM. I often cover DDF. What do we do? I'm feeling like doing something different this time. I haven't figured out quite yet. So how is Spirit perceiving your connection right now? Like, they got the overall view. Like, how are you doing? Does Spirit have any advice, particular advice? Yeah, let's try that. How is Spirit perceiving this connection right now? I'm interested if this may be a different collective group. If we're doing something different, I don't know yet. You will see what it is. Spirits, what do you want to say explicitly? How do you perceive this connection? Okay, this one wanted to show up. I don't know what it is yet. Feeling I should shuffle a bit more. I don't know why. Sorry. I'm feeling like this one. Okay. No, I feel like I need to draw some. I don't know. Today Spirit wants me to do it different. Okay. I'm gonna take that. Oh, overall energy, beautiful. It's progress. It's not progress. What's the word? Transition. So Spirit is seeing that these connections are changing us tremendously. We left something old behind, our old life. Maybe we're not there on the other side yet, but they're guiding us. Spirit is guiding us. You know, in this, maybe you know that story. This Taurus is actually Zeus, who you could say is kidnapping her, but yeah. So this is a god. It's Zeus, right? And I'm feeling like Spirit is leading us, or is basically helping us transition to the other side. And also I sense this as swimming through the water, and water is emotion, so I get kind of like a cleansing that is going on. Spirit is helping us cleanse and purify. So this connection, yeah, it's very healing, it's purifying. So what do we have here? Oh, yes, of course. Oh my god. So, okay. I gotta take all of them today, okay? This might be a different collective than the last. It's a different collective. However, we do have the Queen of Swords again, but again, I feel like it's a different collective. I feel like the collective that had the Queen of Swords all the time is really getting out of that energy. It is occasionally in the last reading it did show up, but it didn't come out. But I noticed her a couple of times. So how is Spirit conceiving? Is conceiving? No, conceiving is something else. That is making a baby, right? Perceiving, seeing. It just says seeing. It's not my first language. How are they? I think perceiving is the right word. Though I'm a bit tongue-tied. I don't know what's happening. Lots of major arcana cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 7. And 2 court cards. Okay, I'm getting different messages. I'm sorry. Have to say it. And you will know if this part does not resonate, it's not for you. You will get another message later, okay? But I have to say this part, it's for some of you, and I have, unfortunately, it's not the first time I say this message. For some of you, the person you have in mind is not your person. I say that because the Devil card is giving me that impression, and the Devil card can talk about your ego. It's about mind over heart, and sometimes we can talk ourselves into something that is not the real thing. Okay, I just start with that message to get it out of the way. So some of you will actually find out that that is not going anywhere, and this is especially true if this person is treating you in a bad way. And by that, I don't mean, for example, ghosting. Okay, because that can be part of a high soul connection journey. Because the ghosting is, you could say, important when we have unhealed losses, for example, or fear of abandonment, then the other person has to mirror that. That is part of a high level soul connection journey. That is not your person treating you bad. It's just it's always a mirroring. But I always say what hurts in a high soul connection is that we have needs, or we perceive ourselves as needy, and we want the other person to fulfill what we want them to fulfill. Right? We project something on them, and they're not giving us what we want. And then, of course, many people unfortunately get into this energy, oh, this person is evil, they're narcissists because they don't give me what I want, and they're supposed to give me what I want. And if they don't give me what I want, then they're a narcissist. But that is not true. It's not that kind of energy, okay? So if a person, for example, sometimes has to withdraw, it's the job of the other person that is getting left behind in that moment to ask themselves, why do I get that mirrored? And usually it's a fear of abandonment that is getting triggered, or self-respect, self-love issues, or negative thinking issues. So that is not what I mean with the person is treating you bad if they just don't respond the way you want them to. You know, they can only give you commitment if you are stable within yourself. They can only show you their devotion if you are in your self-love and not blaming the other person for not giving you something. Because as long as you're in the energy of blaming the other person, it's not their fault because they're mirroring you. Okay, so that is not what I mean when I say, is this person treating you bad? I mean something more like toxic. I mean playing with you, cheating on you, being an F-boy or girl, lying to you. And by lying, again, I don't mean that is happening quite a lot. They promise you to call and then they don't. That happens often in high soul connections when they actually intend to call you, but then some old fear comes on both parties, and then they can't hold up to that promise because they have to mirror you. So by lying, I mean, you know what lying means, you know, like being dishonest to you, cheating, being aggressive, and that doesn't only have to be physical. And if a person is physical aggressive towards you, just get out. It's not a divine counterpart, not ever, not ever, not in a million years. And to be honest, if you're still in that kind of energy that you would let somebody treat you like that, you're not in the energy to draw in a divine counterpart. You have to have left something like that. If you've ever been into something like that, then you have to be in that energy where you really already left something like that behind in order to attract a divine counterpart. You cannot attract a divine counterpart if you let somebody mistreat you. Again, I'm being very rough and blunt, but sometimes I just have to be. But abusive could also be verbally abusive. If your person is talking you down, saying you're unworthy, whatever it is, that is abusive behavior. It's toxic behavior. And if anything like this happens, it's not a true twin flame. A true twin flame would never, ever, ever treat their counterpart that way. They withdraw, yes, and that hurts. They promise to call and don't, for example, and yes, that hurts. Because in those moments they're dealing with their own issues and they're mirroring your issues back to you. That's what a divine counterpart would do, and it's very, very painful. But it's not toxic. It's just mirroring. So for some of you, if there's something, because I get it with the devil card, and we do have this card that to me, you see, it's fighting. It's fighting. It's they're ready to kill one another. And this deck, I don't mean it literally, but it's aggressive. So if there's any aggressive behavior, it's not your person. And you will realize with those two cards, it's not going anywhere. And you will master to turn your back on that. Okay, you can turn your back on that. And you can leave. And then for those of you, it means like leaving that behind in order to step into your power with the Emperor. And then you, after you feel that, you can actually manifest and attract a true divine counterpart. Okay, that is for those of you who are in some kind of a toxic relationship pattern. I think you will learn that it's not what you think it is. It's not, it's just a toxic relationship. For others of you, when you are certain that this is a divine counterpart, let's see what's the message here. Then I'm feeling that you are stepping into that kind of power. However, sometimes there are bad days, there are steps backwards, and they're okay. I see this connection as one that has every chance to get stable. With the Emperor, to me, it's a very stable card, and we've got the Magician that is manifesting. It's moving forward. However, we do see the Hermit and the Hanged Man, two amazing cards, to be honest. They're two cards that say, okay, there is no action happening on the outside, but there's a lot of action happening on the inside, because both cards can be considered as cards of spiritual enlightenment and gaining epiphanies. And you see both cards here have ray of lights coming down, so it is enlightenment. The Hermit, usually, those cards are kind of similar for me in general. The Hermit I always see as, yeah, somebody is withdrawing because their higher self tells them to, because they need a timeout, they need time for self-reflection. And the Hanged Man, I often get more like spirit is forcing you to get on a timeout. But we have both here. So it seems to be very important to take some time for yourself. The Hanged Man in many decks hangs upside down, which implies learning to see things from different perspectives. To learn to, think different. Sorry for pausing. I just got a message from Spirit. You know how I often see the falcon or eagle as a symbol for the higher self. And we do have the Emperor here, and he's at peace with his eagle higher self. But in this story, I don't know if you know the Prometheus story. He is, you could say, an ancient Greek version of Lucifer, because Lucifer, Luz is the light, and Lucifer is the light bringer, And in mythology, Lucifer was the one who brought light to humans. Lucifer, therefore, is the angel of illumination, which is something that church did not like, of course. That is why they turned him into somebody evil. But in the Greek mythology, we do have Prometheus, who gave the humans light. He gave them fire, and he was punished by being bound, being hanged. And there was an eagle, or you see a big bird, eating his liver every day, like attacking him, eating his liver every day, and then every night the wound would close, and then the next day it would happen over and over again for all eternity. So this is kind of like an attack of the higher self, which is of course something that is not happening. The higher self does never ever 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 attack us. What I'm sensing is that this person, and that makes sense with the devil card, because the devil card to me also indicates a fight between the higher self and the ego. The higher self telling you, yeah, that is the truth, and the ego saying something else. And that's what I said in the beginning. For some of you, your ego is saying that is my person, and your higher self is like, no, it's not. Okay, and for others, it could be quite the opposite. Your ego saying, nope, that's not my person, because they don't contact me, and if they would love me, then they would contact me. Like all of the ego things that's happening when you don't know about mirroring yet. So I'm feeling, what I'm sensing here is, here the higher self is the higher self is not off, but the connection to the higher self is off, because the ego wins. It's the devil. And here I'm sensing like not trusting the higher self yet, but getting there, because here they're a team, and here they're not a team yet. So sometimes some people fight, and I have to say, in the very beginning of my twin flame journey, most of the time I didn't. I of course loved my person, still do, adore him. But due to twin flame differences, in the very beginning, sometimes I was like, no, this can't be my twin flame. I didn't know twin flame back then. But that can't be my person, because there is this age gap, then there's that, and then there's that, and maybe I'm just crazy, Whereas my higher self knew from the very beginning, no, that's your person. And I got all the signs, and I got the Kundalini awakening, I got all of that stuff going on. So I'm absolutely sure that that person is my person. But the ego sometimes is looking for reasons why it's so difficult and why it can't be. And again, most of the time that did not happen. But I had bad days. And that is what I'm sensing here right now. It's the higher self is giving you or your person a message. And the conscious mind needs to learn to accept that message. Again, here there's fighting it, and here it's making peace. And again, we see the ray of light shining down on him. So there is this momentum gaining of starting to trust. And then here you see the emperor. He has got like this illuminated head. There's like the ray of light. Maybe you see, like, here's a ray of light. It's like he's integrated those ray of lights that came down, integrated the higher self, and listening to the higher self and stepping into his power. Again, this is some kind of conflict going on. We do have the conflict. So this specific group, there's still a conflict between, maybe you're in the very beginning of your journey. And I'm talking for those of you who have met their counterpart, and then maybe it's the very beginning, or it's just there's like this up and downs, and there is a down going on right now. And maybe what I said earlier when I described mine, I knew that person was my person. But sometimes my mind was like, no, it's how can that be, right? So maybe the divine feminine or the masculine is in the energy of overthinking, being like, how can this be true? But then we do have the magician here, which is manifesting, being able to actually do the work. That is very important. Take charge, do the work, do meditate, do connect to your higher self. That is what's happening here. We have 2 cards out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 cards, and 2 cards that basically say it is time to connect to your higher self, because there is some kind of distortion going on, but then it is stepping into the power. We have the 4 here, the Empress number 4. 4 is the card of stability, the number of stability. What else do I get? Yeah, manifesting. What's your thoughts? That is very important. Your thoughts create. If you're mad at your person, if you focus on what's not good about them, then you create more of that. So it's very important to change your vision, or the way you see your person. Those are very active cards. It's about taking the initiative to actually face your shadows, face your devil, your inner demons. And it's okay to face it. It's actually very important to look at it in order to heal, in order to ascend, because there is ascension and awakening going on, and that needs to happen. So back to the main question, how is Spirit seeing this? Transformative, I would say. You're called to leave something old behind, and that could be an old mindset, could be this person, but you are going to get into a complete new level. And as I said, Spirit is kind of taking over, and we do have that with these cards as well. And then here he is illuminated. It is connecting. I just noticed we have Hera and Zeus. In this deck, they're not counterparts because she's the Mother of Swords. He is the Emperor. But of course, they're married. And they're siblings. They're both husband and wife, and brother and sister. So we do have a married couple here. Hera and Zeus. However, there is imbalance because he's the Emperor and she's the Mother of Swords, which is beneath him. That could be some kind of difference that is quite big. It could be something like an age gap, and you think, as I said in the beginning, and that actually may be an issue for some of you. If we're talking this case, it is your true twin flame. Okay, for some of you, when I said in the first version where it's not your twin flame, where you think it is, you will see that you're just not a match, and you will find somebody better. For others of you, when it is a true twin flame, your ego may think that there's differences. Like I said in my experience, almost 20 years of age gap, living on different continents, different class, social class, different lifestyle. Yeah, so, and it could be other things as well. It could be cultural differences, religious differences, anything like that. Maybe you perceive that this is a major gap between the two of you, and you think, the ego thinks like it's not possible to work out because of these circumstances. And again, for high soul connections, it is very common that there are differences in some kind of way. Race differences, whatever it is. And maybe you are in a phase right now where you focus too much on the differences, and Spirit is like, no, just see the gift that is in this connection. It is transforming you, and then you will learn so much from it, and you will be able to manifest that and live it. Actually, the Emperor to me means commitments, living a connection. So if there's differences, if again, age gap, whatever it is, and of course it doesn't have to be that the man is older. In high soul connections, often the feminine is the older one, Not in my case, but in many cases, that is what's happening, because that is what is even more frowned upon in society. Older woman, younger man, and twin flames also came down to break those patterns of society, to show them it's true love, and it doesn't matter as long as it's true love. So does this have, again, talking to the group where this is your twin flame and not the just ego version, like thinking it is a twin flame, does this have potential? I would say absolutely yes, because again, we have 7 cards, and out of 7 cards we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major arcana cards and 2 court cards. 5 major arcana cards. This is big. And again, we were talking about how does spirit perceive this connection, and strong, there's a strong bond. Spirit perceives this as strong because 5 major arcana cards. But there's some growing that needs to be done in separation because of the Hermit and the Hanged Man. Separation is important. And again, separation doesn't have to. If, for example, sometimes you could be colleagues and you work together, you see this person every day, then separation doesn't have to mean quitting your job. Unless you hate that job and you're just there because you're scared of losing your person, then that would not be a bad thing to do. But that's not what I mean. But then having no contact in private, for example. And facing your shadows, I have to say it again. First of all, step inside your higher self, and then finding out, reflect what is your shadow self telling you. And manifestation is very vital because we have all of the orange here. Could be some issues with the sacral chakra, sexual trauma, shame, guilt, thinking you're not able to manifest, creating things you don't want because you're creating on autopilot instead of consciously creating. So this is becoming conscious. It's very, very important in this reading. But I want to go to the other deck. And this deck is a lovely deck, and I would say this is for those people who know that they're dealing with a divine counterpart, not those who put somebody falsely on a pedestal, okay? And one thing is also very much important to me. Even though this reading may not be the happiest readings of all of them, it's still a gift, because realizing that you can have commitment, that spirit is telling you, yeah, there may be some kind of differences, but they wanted, your souls wanted that. They wanted to gain some kind of epiphany or learn something in that situation. And all you have to do is facing your inner shadows and manifest that person, and you can have stability. That is a gift. Okay, it's not always the cards when there's the 2 of Cups, the Lovers, the 4 of Wands, but followed by the Ace of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups on top of that. Those readings are amazing, of course. But sometimes those readings are a true gift because they're telling us something needs to change. You can have it, but you gotta work for it. And that can be a gift. And if you see, like me, if you see that facing shadows, and that can be a gift, seeing where maybe you saw something not in the right way, and now you realize that that can be a gift, then leave a little devil emoji below. If you can fight your devil, leave a little devil emoji below, and something that for you signifies winning. What does winning over the devil mean for you? Winning over the ego? I don't know, is it like a victory pose? Whatever it is. Leave a little sign below. You can do it. So now we get to check out the Whispers of Love reading. So Spirit does perceive this connection again as something that has potential, but it's not the right time. It can be manifested, but it needs to be manifested because there needs to be shadow work done. And for others of you, Spirit is perceiving this connection as something that is not, it's not your true connection. So one card fell out and I felt like not to take it, but I was curious what it is. Okay, so this messages we got is the heart of the matter. We can pause and check out this amazing image. There's more going on that meets the eye. Recognize what this is all about. Oh wow, this is amazing. Okay, there's something going on that you can't see. That is why you're called to actually meditate and connect to your higher self. And again, for some of you, it may be like finding out that this person is not your person. And for others, it's quite the opposite. Finding out that this person is your person, even though that there are differences. Because what meets the eye can be like, yeah, there are those differences, but Spirit is saying it's still more. Sorry. We got to be supportive. Make a genuine effort to show you care. But I'm getting here. So my throat chakra just completely clogged. Okay. Make a genuine effort to show you care. Care about yourself. Care about, yeah, work on yourself, on your self-love. And if you do love this person, what I'm getting is, if you are not showing that person because you're doing the Mother of Swords thing, if you are, maybe you're the one who is withdrawn and not sending signals because you are the one who's maybe scared of opening up, then this may mean you can send them a small signal, but only in that case. Not if you're the chaser and you've been chasing them all along, then don't, okay? Then we can be willing to express love. When we express love, we begin to receive more love. And again, that can indicate express love about yourself. But what I'm getting with expression is also be mindful of what you say and what you think. If you constantly say your person is difficult because you manifest that. So become aware of how you express yourself. But also we got make a genuine effort to show something, to show you care and express something. But again, that I'll always only get for those who maybe in this energy where they're ghosting that person or withdrawing. But again, be mindful. I'm not saying if you're withdrawn because... Okay, sorry, Spirit just gave me something. Sometimes I pause because I get a message. Not if it's right to withdraw, because we do have two cards that actually say, yes, withdraw. But only when you withdraw, and it comes from the ego. If it comes from your higher self to withdraw, to do your work, that's not the right time to send signals, necessarily. However, if you are the one who's ghosting a person, then you maybe, you should get out of your shell a tiny bit. Or you're called to withdraw, do your work, and then when you feel it's time to come out of your hermit cave, show them that you care, give them a signal then. So anyway, that is what I have for you spirits. For you spirits, I just called you spirit. Why did I do that? I don't know. That is what I have for you. And yeah, it was a rough reading. However, I hope I could help you a bit. And I wish you all the best, okay? And if you need some support, you can reach out. I do give personal readings. And I wish you all the best. Bye-bye.